What happens every time a game does well? That's right, bootleg clones. Stumble Guys is a bootleg clone of Fall Guys that was released on mobile devices in February 2021 as far as I can tell. While Fall Guys was still $20 at the time, this game was ahead of the curve because it released completely free, which Fall Guys eventually would be as well. Since that time, it's received pretty regular updates, adding more minigames every few months, mainly in line with the ones Fall Guys had, just copying specific minigames but not all of them to maybe try avoid copyright or something. Either way, in April 2022, they decided to port this mobile game onto Steam for free and give it crossplay with mobile devices. And after seeing it covered by Moist Critical, aka Charlie, aka Big Moist, aka Penguin Zero, I decided to give it a shot. It's actually pretty fun. Unlike normal Fall Guys, where you're generally playing against people on an even playing field, with Stumble Guys, you're playing against people on mobile devices. On top of this, I have the slight suspicion that many of the lobbies include a ton of bots to make this game seem more active than it actually is. That being said, whatever the case may be, this game actually runs pretty well. Since it was made for mobile devices, it runs beyond smooth on Steam on PC. What did surprise me, however, was that the queue times in this game are absurdly low. Even as I'm writing this, Fall Guys has had a massive resurgence in players and has tons of people playing daily, but it still takes about 10 to 20 seconds to find a match. In Stumble Guys, it takes like 5 seconds max. It definitely doesn't have a physics engine as smooth as Fall Guys, and the controls are a lot more wonky. If you get hit by anything, you lose all control and generally just die. And sliding is a monster that cannot be tamed, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Also, you can't grab players, so there's very little interaction with you and other people other than beating them to the finish line, or beating them in whatever minigame you're playing. It also has some buggy visuals, likely because of the port to PC, mainly with the shadows as you can see here, but honestly the game still looks fine enough and it's not really a problem for me. The fact that this game is so clearly a bootleg game also makes it genuinely debatably more enjoyable for me. I particularly like going around the goal to finish a level, but you can even do that in certain minigames by going around the minigame and actually win with that to an extent. It also has a really small soundtrack with one theme for the title screen and one for the games that plays on loop, neither of which are even remotely good, but I always turn off music in multiplayer games anyway, and luckily they let you do that here, so it had no real impact on me. The only real way that this game is lacking in any way that matters is content-wise, in that it has a lot less minigames than Fall Guys, and debatably lower quality ones, although most of them are ripped from Fall Guys, so that's not really the same. But it's also made by a much smaller team, and they do put out semi-regular updates to try and add more, so I'm sure that would probably improve over time anyway. This game is also pretty buggy sometimes, but honestly that adds a lot of charm for me. Genuinely, when I first played this, I was having a really good time. Even if it's less fleshed out than Fall Guys, because it's so fast, and it's always pretty fun absolutely decimating small children in video games. That was until this happened. This man punched me. He punched me off the map to win a game. And I was like, how did he do that? I thought there was no player interactions in this game. I pressed like every button on my keyboard to try and do this before and after this happened to me. So then I went and looked it up, and apparently this game is extremely pay to win. I understand that they kinda have to sell their skins and battle pass, even though they actually give out a lot of skins and stuff for free, like every time you log in, and that this level of pay to win is nothing compared to the average mobile game. But I'm pretty sad that they decided to make some of the things in that battle pass pay to win. You can buy the punch emote, which has only ever been available in the battle pass at like the highest battle pass tier throughout its entire existence. To be fair, in real money it's pretty cheap, being around 1,200 gems of their in-game currency or $8 in their shop, but it still does suck that this game is pay to win. For completing an entire set of the free tiers in the battle pass, you only earn around 150 gems. And with this refreshing every 2 weeks, it would take you 8 whole battle passes, or around 16 weeks or 4 months to earn enough free currency to have the battle pass. And that's assuming you max out your battle pass, since these free gems are only available toward the end of the free tiers. I was really disheartened to learn about this. I knew the game seemed too good to be true for being free on mobile and PC with crossplay included. I understand that the game developers have to make money somehow, but pay-to-win mechanics are never the way to do it in my opinion, and it really is just sad to see for me. Honestly, if it wasn't for this pay-to-win aspect, despite the game's flaws, I actually found it pretty fun for a free game, and it seems like it would be a decent option to play a version of Fall Guys that your friends who just have phones could play with you. But after learning that this game is entirely pay-to-play in the worst way possible by locking a very powerful mechanic behind a paywall, I'm gonna have to give this game a 1 out of 5.